Boy, they've never seen anything like you. I heard my pop's voice ring through my head the other day when Maddox and I went to the theater. We went to see a movie called The Fire Inside, and if you haven't seen the movie, it's amazing. It's a phenomenal story. It teared me up towards the end because there was a fight, and the coach couldn't get down to the side of the ring, and he yelled out. Her name was Clarissa, and he yelled out, "Ressa, they never seen anything like you before." And it just made me think of my pops, because my pops would say things like that to me, but he would add "boy" in front of it. And those words of encouragement to me, I was on the way home with Maddox, and I turned to Maddox, and I was just like, "Man, what'd you think of the movie?" He said, "I thought it was amazing, Pop." And he loves movies that are about like boxing and things like that. He loves Creed and all these things. And I said to him, I said, "Son, when I see you on the football field, I've never seen anything like you." And I said, "The world has never seen anything like you. The way that you stay calm, the way you stay calm in the pocket, the things that you do and the decisions that you make." And my son started to tear up. I started to tear up. We had this moment, and I realized the power of encouraging words. And what I realized is that I lived an entire life. Well, when I say an entire life, I lived until it's been a little over 3 years since my pops graduated to heaven. And, so for the better part of 45 years, every single morning of every single day, I got encouraging words from my pops. And until my mom passed away, I got those encouraging words from her too. And so I started to realize that the foundation of every single thing that we ever do is those encouraging words. And imagine if we tapped into the source of unlimited encouraging words, we could be that for somebody, because somebody today, right now, right in this spot, needs your encouraging words. They need a call, they need a text, they need an email of something specific that they've done that inspired you. And those encouraging words literally can take someone off the ledge or can propel them into the future that was destined for them. So it's my honor to talk about encouragement and words of encouragement, because it just makes me think of my pops. And now my pops said that my life was a relay race, and we run that race for as long as we can. Then we pass the baton. He said, "Someday, son, I'm going to pass that baton to you." And when he did 3 years ago, now I look down and I've got a little man in Maddox, and I got a little young lady in McKenna that I'm going to be passing that baton to. But until my dying day, I'll make sure that I give them every bit of encouraging words that I can. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Every single day of my life, having my parents on this earth, they were constantly encouraging me in something. What it did is it passed on. It passed on to my brother encouraging me, my buddy Will, all the people. And I've been so fortunate with so many words of encouragement throughout my life. And when I saw that movie the other day with my son, The Fire Inside, and he said, they never seen nothing like you. It just hit different. And I want to tell my son and my daughter every single day that, nobody has ever seen anything like you. The world hasn't seen anything like you. So go after it. And, these words of encouragement, they hit me so hard because, again, I've lived in that, but it also reminds me of my pops and my mom. And I love you guys. And I want to make sure that my son and my daughter are encouraged at the highest level, the way that my brothers and I were encouraged, because those words of encouragement, they end up becoming thoughts, and those thoughts then become actions, and those actions turn into realities, and the realities that me and my brothers, exist in now. They're never, the circumstances have never been perfect, but at the basis of all of them, it's been encouragement. And so in Proverbs 2, it exemplifies the power of encouraging words. And I want to encourage you too. There's somebody out there that needs your words. Your kids need your words. Your spouse needs your words. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever it is, they need your words. And sometimes we think that, it wouldn't make that much difference. But what I want you to do is I want you to call them, and even more powerful, write them a letter. I'm holding up my notebook from Remarkable. We'll be sponsored on the podcast at some point by Remarkable, but it's a digital notepad. I write digital notes, and I write handwritten notes that are imperfect of wisdom and encouragement. And a letter, handwritten, analog, can change things. Go over and check out on our Substack too. That's how I deliver my newsletter, is actually in my handwriting, which some people were like, are you sure about that? I was like, let's try it out and see how it goes. And I write personal letters to everybody. So it works out perfect. Or it is working out perfect, or we'll work through it. I want to encourage myself in those things, so you get some encouraging words. So in Proverbs 2, verse 1-5, accepting, storing up, tuning your ear towards, applying, calling out, crying aloud, looking for, searching out words of encouragement will bring endless return. And let me say it again, because there's a mouthful and there's a lot of it. First of all, accepting. First of all, we got to accept that encouraging words actually have power. Once you accept it and you start to seek it out, then you'll start to find it. Once you find it, then store it up. Turn your ear towards it, apply it, call out for it, cry aloud for it, look for it, search for it. Search for these words of encouragement, and because they will bring endless return. And not only seeking the encouragement, but also what I find is every time that I need encouragement, if I encourage somebody else, it's almost like it fills me up anyway. But it's got to be specific, and it can't just be, you're always going to understand. People are always going to see your heart, and they're going to know the condition of your heart. So if you're encouraging them, because I said on the podcast, you need to encourage people because you'll end up getting encouraged. If you just encourage someone because you want a result, I can tell you it's going to nullify the power, which is crazy, right? And so, will always the condition of your heart will always be known by people. It's kind of like animals or children. When you come up on it, they know, and you can't fake it. So, but accept, store up, turn your ear to it, apply it, call out. Cry aloud and look for it and search for it as if it was, like your lifeline, and look for those places of encouragement that you can have. I'm reading the book called Green Lights right now with Matthew McConaughey. Some of you guys have read it. I would suggest it. It's amazing. I haven't got all the way through it, but I loved it. At some point, I'd like to have him on the podcast. There's a couple connection points. Number one, he's a human. I'm a human, and I think he's really cool. So I think I should have him on the podcast. But the other thing is he says a verse in there, or says a statement in there. He says, his dad wasn't at his birth. And when he said something about, that he didn't care what his mom named him, just as long as it wasn't Kelly. So I think that's kind of funny that that's in there, that his dad was like, as long as his name isn't Kelly, I'm good. And then the other thing is he lived in Longview, Texas, and Longview, Texas, where my parents resided. So we got two connection points. So I'm closer to Matthew McConaughey than you could ever imagine. That's me encouraging myself that I will get him on the podcast at some point. So I believe you could self-encourage too, but encouraging words mean the world. In verse 6-10, encouragement builds confidence, competence, humility, grace, diligence, and joy. When you encourage somebody, it builds their confidence. It'll build their competence. And when that happens, what happens is when you get encouraged, then humility will follow. Grace will follow, diligence and joy. And when I look at the example of these things, confidence, competence, humility, grace, diligence, and joy, I just think about Big Brother Rob. And when I think of him, and he has one of the best law practices in all of Las Vegas. He's won all type of awards. Cardenas Law Group is a personal injury law group that it's not the norm, because they're completely focused on the people, not only the people that they're serving, but the people that work in their company. And so they found the holy grail too. I was telling them this about marketing, because most people do digital marketing to be able to get word of mouth recommendation. But my brother already has the word of mouth recommendation. So if he adds digital marketing to it, yeah, he could do it. It'll set, it'll move it forward. But it was amazing, because I got that those words came from the godfather of digital marketing for attorneys, Mr. Harlan Schillinger. And, for him to say that, which was amazing. But when I looked at this today, I realized why my brother, Rob, with Cardenas Law Group, has the type of word of mouth recognition that he does in the city. And that when one guest comes to see him, not only they come back, but also their family, their friends, anyone in earshot, because he had encouragement in his life. It built the confidence in what he was doing. It built the competence for him to be the most competent person at his skill craft. The humility came in, the grace, the diligence, and the joy. And guess what also comes? Prosperity in those areas. So big shout out to you, Rob. I love you, man. I'm proud of you, and you're doing amazing. In verse 11 through 19 is words of encouragement will help you not to give in to silly things. Now, I gave in to some silly things. Maybe I wasn't encouraged that much this morning or something like that, but I walked in the door. My dog Ziggy had eaten up a yoga mat. It was all over the place. It was a brand new yoga mat. And I tell you, we made a deal with Ziggy. I said, you eat it, I beat it, right? So, if he eats a shoe, he gets swatted with the shoe. He got a little taste of some yoga mat this morning. So, but maybe I didn't have enough words of encouragement because I did some silly things. Or maybe that's just discipline. He needs to learn some old school work, Ziggy, right? So you could judge me on that, but but words of encouragement. And I think of this. I think of my buddy James Dixon, one of the number one motivational speakers in the world, if not the. His YouTube channel gets 8 to 12 times more views than any TEDx talk. So if you want to have your material out there on the platform, most people are like, oh, a TEDx talk would be the best. No, absolute motivation talk is the one. And so when I look at him, though, is when we talk every day, he encourages me. He gives me encouraging words. I give them back to him. We go back and forth. And it helps us, though, too, because then we run into challenges and I'll be like, oh, man, James's words of encouragement, they really helped me because I was about to do something silly. So big shout out to you, Mr. James Dixon. I love you, buddy. He was on the podcast yesterday. If you don't want to hear him, he's been on multiple times. He's one of my buddies and my brothers. An incredible human being. In verse 20 through 22, encouragement will light the path. If you ever see that your path is dark or anything like that, I tell you, words of encouragement, you can be in the darkest place in the world and a person come to you, they encourage you with specific words, it starts to light things up a little bit. I tell you, I got a message this morning from a girl named Holly, and it was just words of encouragement. I asked for 100 people in the next 24 hours to download at least an episode of the podcast. She reached out and said, done. And I said, thank you so much. It was just words of encouragement. I got words of encouragement from a man, my friend, Fred Ciosi. I love you, Fred. And we call him Mr. Fred. He's the man. This guy is unbelievable ball of joy, incredibly intelligent, and probably one of the most humble guys I've ever met in my life. But he is just, he's that guy. He's the guy willing to work and do the work as much as possible. And he encouraged me this morning. He said, hey, I've got a friend that played football for University of Utah, and he should be on the podcast. And I was thinking, man, that is so cool that you would give me a personal recommendation. That is a word of encouragement. And so thank you so much, Fred. You already made my day. I love you, my man. And hopefully I'll see you soon and get to hang out with you soon. Also, his daughter and my daughter are best friends. They've been that way since kindergarten. So it's just a really, really cool thing, encouraging all the way around. And so, as we finish up is when we are tapped into the source of unlimited encouragement, we can be that for others. Someone needs your encouraging words today. I could tell you this, every single person that is listening right now, or that you're going to share this with, every one of you has a circle of influence, and someone in that circle of influence needs a word of encouragement today. They need to hear an attaboy. They need to hear you're doing great. They need to hear something specific, but make sure it's not general. It's not just, hey, you're awesome. Why are they awesome? Why are they significant in your life? And when you start to give those words of encouragement, it can, things jump to another level. And so I want to encourage both my kids right now. McKenna, you're doing incredible with your driving. She's just about to get her driver's license on January 7th, a couple days from now. And I want to tell you how proud I am of you, that you've been working hard at it, that you've been working at that also with your drama, with your singing and with acting and with your dancing and your choreography. I see the progress in you. Mr. Maddox, you've been going to the gym. You've been wanting to be a better football player, and I'm seeing the progress in you, man. You have take pride in your room, and you got your new computer desk for Christmas, and you got all the stuff, little gamer stuff, and you're keeping your room clean. And I want to tell you that you're incredible, man. And your words of encouragement every morning when I see you and I say, hey, brother, you're awesome. And you're like, no, Dad, you're awesome. I want you to know how much that means to me. So I love you both. You're incredible. And last but not least, a word of encouragement to my wife. You're the hardest working woman that I know. You're the most beautiful woman that I know. You're the smartest. You have ingenuity. You have perseverance. I tell you, I've never seen anything like you in the world. Hasn't seen anything like you either. And I want you to always, always, always know not only how beautiful physically you are, but how beautiful inside you are, and how just an incredible human being, and you shine light on every other person, and you have made our family so, so amazing. So I love you guys a ton. If you want to be able to come spend some time live, it is going to be April 12th. It's called the Vibe Experience. We're going to have about 6 hours in the morning together. We're going to be going through some stuff. It's going to be amazing. And then we're going to break from about 3 to about 6:30. And then we're going to do the Vibe Room at night. And the Vibe Room is a live version of the podcast where I interview different iconic people. We have a musical act there. It is going to be amazing. And all that, those tickets, right? They sell out every single time. We've sold out every single time. If you become a founding member of our Substack, the first 10 people that do that will actually get a ticket to that experience free of charge, completely complimentary. So check out our Substack, do that. Also check out the High Fives Foundation. Roy Tuscany is an incredible human, and he's doing some phenomenal things in the world, changing the world because he's an incredible human being. So hopefully you have a phenomenal day. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting.